This is one of our scariest stories yet. So turn off the lights, lock your doors, and hide under your blankets if you dare. This is never answer if someone calls your name. The wind was howling outside, rain lashing against the windows, thunder booming overhead. The perfect setting for a scary story. And I was determined to find one for my viewers. I mean, it's Halloween night. A horror-themed short story channel should be fully booked with ghost stories. Yet here I was, slumping in my chair, laptop open, empty document taunting me. Writer's block. For some reason, nothing spooky came to mind. Just as I was about to call it quits for the night, I heard a knock at the door. I jumped, knocking over my water glass. What? Who could be out in this weather? My neighbor? Mrs. Higgins, perhaps. She did love her trick-or-treating, even at 87. I opened the door, and there she was, soaked to the bone, holding a carved pumpkin. "Happy Halloween, dear," she croaked. "I just wanted to drop this off. You look like you could use a good scare. I found this in my attic. Thought it might inspire you." And with that, she handed me the pumpkin and disappeared into the storm. I shut the door, feeling more confused than scared. What was she talking about? Inspiration? Then I noticed something strange. Carved into the pumpkin, right into its grinning face, were the words, "Don't answer if someone calls your name." Huh, was this some kind of prank? But who would do something like this, and why? Mrs. Higgins was harmless as they came. Besides, the last time I checked, she wasn't exactly the carving type. I shrugged it off as an overly enthusiastic Halloween decoration and went back to my laptop. Maybe Mrs. Higgins was right. Maybe this would help me get in the spooky spirit. I began typing. My fingers flew across the keyboard, guided by some sudden burst of inspiration. I wrote about a young woman haunted by the ghost of a stranger who called out to her in the middle of the night. As I wrote, I realized the story felt oddly familiar, as if I had once heard it before. I shook off the feeling. After all, ghost stories are pretty much the same. Hauntings, scary encounters, things that go bump in the night, they all follow a similar formula. Still, I couldn't help but wonder where my sudden burst of inspiration had come from. Had I subconsciously lifted the plot from some obscure horror anthology? I dismissed the thought. I was a one-person team, my own writer and editor. So what if the story seemed strangely familiar? I finished writing, then stopped. I reread my work. There was something missing, a way to make it more terrifying, more realistic. Suddenly, I knew just what to add. The woman in the story shouldn't have been haunted by just any ghost, but by the ghost of someone close to her, someone she loved. Yeah, that would hit the reader right in the feels. So I added the final touch to my story, saving it onto my desktop. And now for the moment of truth. I read it out loud to see how it sounded. "My dearest Amelia," I began, getting into character. "You won't believe this, but last night I heard my mother's voice calling me from another room." I paused, letting the suspense build. Our minds wide, 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 my ab, wide, I'm rebas, I rob, I'm drive, I leaned forward, dropping my voice to a whisper. Maybe I was just exhausted. Maybe I imagined it. Then I heard it again, clearer, closer. My name echoed through the silent house, each word a nail hammered into my coffin of fear. I paused again, savoring the chills I felt creep up my spine. My mother was calling me, but how? She was in another city, over 200 miles away, said, meeting my own gaze in the laptop screen. "I want to tell you everything, but it's too much to type. You need to hear it. Hear me out." I wish I could describe the terror that gripped me, the icy fingers of dread that curled around my heart. I was paralyzed, unable to move, trapped in a nightmare that refused to end. Then, summoning a sliver of courage, I grabbed my phone flashlight and crept towards the sound, each step echoing my pounding heart. The kitchen was my destination, and there I found something that nearly shattered my composure. On the table lay a photograph, the only copy I had, the one I'd locked away in a drawer in my bedroom, the picture of me as a child. And on its back, scrawled in a handwriting that sent shivers down my spine, a warning: he knows your name. Don't answer. I let the silence hang heavy in the air, then added the finishing touch to my story. That night, I never answered again. As I reread my work, a sense of pride swelled within me. I had done it. I had created a chilling tale that would send shivers down readers' spines. I posted it online, eager for feedback, but something nagged at me. The story felt oddly personal, as if I had drawn from my own life experiences. But I dismissed the feeling. It was just my imagination, I told myself. After all, everyone has fears and nightmares, right? I closed my laptop, ready to relax after a productive night. But as I settled in, a new story popped into my feed. The title made my blood run cold. The night I heard my mother's voice. Clicking on it, I found my own story staring back at me word for word. But that was impossible. I had written it myself. Confused and shaken, I scrolled up to read the comments. Wow, so scary. This happened to me too. What, did he just read my mind? This is my worst nightmare. With each comment, my confusion grew. How could this be happening? I reread the story, searching for clues, but found nothing out of the ordinary. The writing was mine. It's the words, the story, the feelings. They were all a part of me. Yet somehow it was everywhere at once, echoing in the minds of others. That's when it hit me. The story hadn't just appeared on my page by chance. It was meant to be seen by others. But who was behind it? Why were my deepest fears being shared by strangers? And what did it mean for me? I raced through my notifications, desperate for answers, but found none. Instead, I stumbled upon a new story. Never answer if someone calls your name. I clicked on it, bracing for impact. And then I saw it, the story I had written hours ago, the one I had posted. It was gone. In its place was a single sentence: "It's not your story anymore." I felt a chill crawl up my spine, a premonition of what was to come. I had unwittingly unleashed a horror beyond my wildest nightmares. My story, my fears, my name, they had been taken from me. And now I must embark on a terrifying journey to reclaim them. But where to start? I was lost in a labyrinth of my own making, trapped in a story that was no longer mine. But then a glimmer of hope emerged. My mother. She had always been my anchor, my protector. Surely she could help me navigate this treacherous tale and bring it home. But as I reached for the phone, doubt crept in. Would she understand? Could she help me decipher this cryptic message? Or would my story remain lost in the digital abyss, forever out of reach? I stared at the phone, torn between hope and despair. If you enjoyed this scary story, be sure to subscribe for more spine-chilling tales. And for more supernatural scares, watch this playlist. But remember, if someone calls your name in the middle of the night, don't answer. Whatever waits on the other side of the darkness is not what you want to see.